Hey guys, guess what day it is? It's Whiskey Wednesday. You knew this already, that's why you're tuning in. Welcome back. I'm Dave again here with Whiskey Blooded. We're going to be reviewing today one of my favorite bottles of bourbon, the Four Roses Single Barrel. It's about 55 degrees out here in Michigan right now, which is the warmest it's been in like 10 years. So we're going to have a little bit of fun today. I'm going to review one of my favorite bottles, and we're going to go through what I think is potentially one of the best buys on the market right now. Normally each week I try to split it up, so I'm not just doing my favorite bottles, I'm not just doing random bottles that I don't like, but this week we're going to go with one of my favorites. So the review is going to be good. If you're looking for a great bourbon, this is one of them, but I'm still going to go through my usual format. We're going to talk about it, we're going to nose it, we're going to look at the color, we're going to give you a tasting note, and then today I'm actually going to put a score down here that shows you my overall score for it out of 100. The other thing that I'm going to do a little bit different today is I'm going to read you my tasting notes from my tasting note journal. Yeah, I'm a dork. I realize that I keep the notes, but it's how I know what I like and what I remember tasting it at last time and how it tastes now. So that's an important thing for someone that's trying different bourbons and they want to keep a record of everything. So this is the Four Roses Single Barrel. It's a really cool looking barrel. It's a good price. It's readily available. It runs about $40 to $45 if you find it out there. Here in Michigan we can get it. Most places you should be able to get this. I found that if you can get it here in Michigan, you can probably get it most other places in the country except maybe Ohio. Great bottle, looks cool. It's engraved on the front here. It's got a nice wood stopper, a little bit of a leathery neck here, and just something nice to have on your shelves and something nice to bring to a friend potentially. So let's go through it and then I'll give you my thoughts. I'll try to keep this video as short as possible. I could talk about this whiskey for a very long time because it is one of my favorites. So as for the color, it's 50% alcohol by volume, by the way, too, if you're wondering. I know you probably can't read the whole bottle there, but it's 50% alcohol. So as for the color, oh, and I cut my finger, so there's a big Band-Aid on it, which is probably ruining this video, but that's okay. The color of the bourbon, it's pretty much amber, dark amber. It's got some good amount of flavor in it, so you do get a little bit of a darker color, but it's nothing terribly dark. It's a pretty smooth bourbon, so the color should reflect that. Now, I'm going to open my tasting notes from last time. I'm going to read you what I had last time, and then I'll kind of compare. This is a newer bottle. This is different than when I had my notes recorded. So every bottle is going to be a little bit different when it's a single barrel. I mean, they're still batching it, but it's going to taste just a little bit different from bottle to bottle. So my notes from before, I got chocolate off the nose of the bourbon. I got chocolate, some nougats, florally, citrus notes, vanilla. When I say chocolate, it's like cocoa, not straight milk chocolate, but like cocoa. And that's kind of what I'm getting right now. I'm still getting the cocoa. I'm still getting the floral notes. This one here has a little more wood than the last one I remember, so I'm guessing it's going to be a little spicier. But yeah, I'm getting the same types of notes. Now as for the tasting notes, I'm imagining they'll be very similar. It was cocoa followed by some dried fruits, heavy floral and citrus, and then a smooth finish. So let's see how that compares to what I'm trying now. Yep, I mean very similar to that. Right up front, you're getting a little bit of that cocoa. You're getting the floral notes that hit you pretty hard, which is a good thing. It's different. And I'm getting a little spice, a little kick in the back. It's definitely a little woodier than I last remember. So yeah, it's cocoa up front, it's floral, it's a little citrus, maybe a little bit of vanilla because I tasted some buttery in there, some vanilla, and then followed by a nice finish, moderately long. It's spicier down here. Dried fruits are coming through my palate. and a little bit more on the floral notes, and the citrus, the cocoa kind of dies out at the end of it. So yep, a little more citrus up front at the end here, but very, very good. One of my favorite out there. Like I said, as far as what I think about this bourbon, I'll give you a score. For me, I'm going to start using cards because a couple people said, hey, I kind of want to just skip to the part where you give me a rating. So I'm going to do this. So 94 out of 100, which is a really good rating because I've gotten a little bit more conservative with my ratings. As I go through, I'm getting a little pickier as I do my reviews, and I'm tasting more bourbons, and my tastes are changing too. But I'm going to rate it 94 out of 100 for a couple of reasons. Number one, it drinks great. I mean, it's a great bourbon. The part of what factors in my score is that I think anyone will like this. Not everyone, because the floral is not as much something you expect in a bourbon, but it's different, and I think that if you brought this bottle to a friend's house, they would like it a lot. It's readily available. The price point at $40-ish is fantastic for what you're getting. I've read a couple other reviews on it, and none of them are negative. So while that doesn't really factor into my rating, it's nice to know that I don't just like some bourbon that everyone else hates. Everyone likes this bourbon. So if you're going to a tasting event, or if you're going over to a buddy's house and you know he likes bourbon or whiskey, bring a bottle of this. Stop by your liquor store, pick it up. You'll be able to find it, which is great. And go enjoy it, because a nice day out like today, as we're hitting spring, this is the perfect bottle. I mean, Four Roses, the name says it, florally, cocoa-y, a little bit woody. It is a perfect, just sipping spring bourbon. And I do put this in a couple of my drinks that I mix as well, in a nice Manhattan or in an old fashioned, and it makes a great drink as well. So definitely go out there and pick it up. Next week we'll get back to our more normal format. We'll just kind of go through what I've been buying, and it won't be my favorite bottle out there, but we'll go through the same normal format next week. So once again, thanks for joining me here today at Whiskey Blooded. Make sure that you subscribe down below if you haven't already, wherever the button is. I always get lost. I think it's over here somewhere. Also, leave comments. I'd love to answer questions, or if you guys don't like something, let me change my format. This is only my 5th video, I think, so help me change my format if you don't like it. And if not, we'll see you again over the weekend. We'll come up with a new cocktail like we do every weekend. And then next week for Whiskey Wednesday. Thanks again, guys. Have a great day.